Hey guys, Pankaj here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to talk about HackerRank quiz. So those quizzes will be asked in interview, or maybe those who are joining their company. Before joining, they will have some preliminary test, right? Just to make sure that they are ready with the particular technology or not. So while giving the HackerRank test, you need to be familiar with like what kind of quizzes are asked, what is the pattern of their quiz. Okay, and if you are able to write the program, how to pass those test cases which is running in the background. Okay, so let me share my desktop and I'll show you. Okay, so let's open HackerRank first. So if you have not yet created a login, then go to hackerrank.com and go to login site and log in as a developer. Okay, so if you have not yet created your account, please go ahead and create. I have already created, so I'll just use it. So I have been using HackerRank almost since last 2-3 years. So you'll see in the problem solving for Python, I already got 5 star. Okay, so I'll show some basic stuff, then you guys can start on your own. Okay, so this is your home page. Okay, so we have practice. Then if you are expert in Python, then you can go with certification also. Then you can compete. So various challenges are there. You can go ahead with compete also, and leader will show like what is your current rank. Okay, with various countries. So let's go with practice. Under practice session, you have something called skills available for practice. Okay, go with Python. Okay, so here I'm going to talk only about Python, no other language. Okay, so go to Python, and here you will see a lot of different topics and their associated questions. So here, whichever questions you want, you can just click on it, and only those questions will be popped up. Okay, so let's take for some example, maybe Python if else. Though I have already solved, but I'll just show you. Okay, so now once you go to the question, then here in the left side pane, it will show what kind of questions are asked and what is if else condition. They will explain also, but in case of your interview questions or preliminary test for the company side, you may not have explanation. They will directly talk to the problem statement and their input and output format and what is the constraint about the program. Okay, so we'll see like what is the task is given here and what kind of sample input and output and how to write the program and how to run them, and while running, how to pass the test cases whatever running in the background. That is very crucial part. Okay, so let's talk about this problem statement. So first you understand what is their statement. Okay, accordingly then you will be able to write the program. Okay, so what is the task here? Given an integer n, perform the following conditional actions. Okay, if n is odd, print weird. If n is even and inclusive range of 2 to 5, print not weird. If n is even and the inclusive range 6 to 20, print weird. If n is even and greater than 20, print not weird. Okay, so input format is a single line containing positive integer n. So what is it? This is very important, guys. Okay, you should understand what is their statement. So a single line. So basically you are going to get the input from the user, and in single line only you will have an integer. So this could be like total 6 numbers, 5 numbers, or whatever. Okay, and the constraints will be n should not be more than 100. So but greater than 1 but less than or equal to 100. Okay, and output format, print weird if the number is weird, otherwise print not weird. Okay, so let's say sample input 3. So sample out it will show weird. Why it is showing weird? Because here they have given condition. If number is falling within the range, let's say 2 to 5, print not weird. So see, since 3 comes under 2 to 5, that's why it is printing. Wait a minute. Sample input 3, so sample output is 0, weird. Okay, 2 to 5, print not weird. 6 to 20. Okay, if n is even and the inclusive range of 620. If should be even and exclusive range 6 to 20, then only should print weird. Okay. And yeah, explanation n equal to 3, n is odd and odd numbers are weird, so print weird. Okay, so that's what they want. And next is sample input 24, not weird. So n equal to 24, which is greater than 20, and n is even, so that's not weird. So basically you need to print weird if number is a given number is even, not even, and if it is even, then print weird, not weird. Okay, so here if you see the right side pane here, they are talking about all the libraries which is already imported by HackerRank team. Okay, and under this, if you need to write the function and which will be called. Okay, so let's write the code now. So we may not need all the library, you may delete it also, but whatever is default, let it be there. Okay, so let's write the condition. If n is, let's say, modulo 2 equal to 0, print what we have to print. Exactly whatever they're writing, just copy and paste here. Print not weird, else print weird. So if it is modulo 2 is not equal to 0, then print weird. Okay, now my code is ready. Let's run this. Okay, so for the sample input, it has taken 3. It is what is my output, that is weird, and what is the expected output from HackerRank, that is also exactly same. That's why you it is telling like, congratulations, your test has been passed. But the moment you submit, right, it will have a lot of internal test cases, which may be greater than 20 or 15 test cases. Okay, so if I submit the code, let's see what happens. Okay, so you may wonder, my code is correct and it is running some test cases, right? But couple of test cases have been failed. Why? There must be some other condition which I am not at all taking into account while writing the code. Okay, so what could be those numbers? So let's go back to test cases and understand. Okay, so let me talk about this. If you unlock in your interview test, you may not be able to unlock because there are hidden test cases. But in HackerRank, if you are practicing, if you unlock, you will lose some hackos. That is nothing but the point. If you don't unlock and you just pass, you will gain some hackos. Okay, hackos are just a point. So one test case unlock is equal to 5 points. So you will gain 5 points if you don't use. If you unlock, then you will lose 5 points. Okay. So let's understand what is that. So if you talk about the condition, right? If n is odd, print weird, and if n is even, n inclusive of 2 to 5, inclusive range of 2 to 5, print weird. Okay. So there could be some number which may be even, but it is coming within the range between 2 to 5, which I am not taking into account. Same case will be with this also. If n is even and in the inclusive range of 6 to 20, print weird. Okay. And if n is even and greater than 20, print not weird. Okay, so let's take that also. So we may have to put multiple conditions. So for even number, of course, modulo equal to 0. Let's say what else we have. For weird, we have if n is even, that is this one, and inclusive range of 6 to 20. Then we have to write n is greater than 6 and n is less than equal to 20. They are telling inclusive range means 6 and 20 both are included. So it should be n greater than equal to 6 and n less than equal to 20. Then print weird. Okay, let's change the condition. If n is odd number, let's put another else if. I'll put elif if n is even and the inclusive range of 2 to 5, print not weird. Okay, so let's use this. Elif number is even, of course, and inclusive range of 2 to 5 is greater than equal to 2 and less than equal to 5. Print not weird. Okay. What else? If n is even and greater than 20, print not weird. If n is even, fine, and greater than equal to 20. Just use this, print not weird. And for weird, we have only one condition, if n is even, and it is between 6 to 20. Let's run this also. Three, it is weird. Okay. We have to use else condition also, right? Else print weird. Because those number which is not equal to modulo or 2 equal to not 0, that will be not weird. Sorry, it should be weird. So that is odd number. Let's run this code now. It should pass for 3. Yes, it is passed. Now let's submit the code. I hope our logic will be correct. Wow. So we have all the test cases passed, right? So if you see this, congratulations, and all test cases have been passed, means your code is perfectly fine and you are ready to submit, and it has been taken basically. If all test cases have been passed in submit code, means your code has been taken successfully and you'll get 100% mark. Okay, so yeah, so that's about this test case. Let's go to some other test case now. So I'll go to Python. Let's talk about some functions. Okay, because in interview question it will not be very simple, it will be little complex, but yeah, if you are understand all the concept, then it will be easy to run it. Where is the function? Python functions. Okay, maybe I'll take here write a function. Okay, let's take what I have solved it. So I'll just remove the code and show you how it works. Okay, so let's read the question now. Here the question talks about an extra day is added to the calendar almost every 4 years as February 29, and the day is called a leap day. Okay, it corrects the calendar for the fact that our planet keeps approximately 365.25 days to orbit the sun. A leap year contains a leap day. In the Gregorian calendar, 3 conditions are used to identify the leap years. Okay, so I think most of the people are aware, like if any year is divided by 4, they say it is a leap year, right? But there are 3 conditions needs to be satisfied. So what are those conditions? The year can be evenly divided by 4 is a leap year. Okay, so if my modulo 4 of that year is equal to 0, means that is a leap year. But hey, we have some other conditions also. What are those conditions? The year can be evenly divided by 100. It is not a leap year unless the year is also evenly divisible by 400. Okay, so we need to satisfy all 3 conditions, then only your given year will be either leap year or not a leap year. Okay, so let's talk about this. This means that in Gregorian calendar, the years 2000, 2400 or leap year, while 1800, 1900 and 25 are not a leap year because they are not satisfying these 2 conditions as well. Okay, so what is the task? Given a year, so you will be given a just year, integer number, determine whether it is a leap year. If it is a leap year, return the boolean true, otherwise return the false. Note that the code sub provided reads from standard in. So you are getting the input from the user. That is what is your standard in, and passes arguments to the isLeap function. So we need to write a function which is which name is isLeap. Okay, it is not, it is only necessary to complete the isLeap function. Okay, so that is the function we need to write it. Okay, so input format read the year. So let's write the function now. Def isLeap. We have to use exact function name whatever they have given. Remember, you cannot write any name. Okay, and it needs a year, that is, let's say I've given year. Okay, so let's start writing the condition. If year modulo 4 equal to 0, so if modulo 4 equal to 0, that is what is the leap year. Okay, but here we have some other condition also in the same condition. So once it is modulo 4 equal to 0, then let's go with the next condition. So this is including other 2 also, then we have to use AND. Okay, and now we are going to write another condition. What is the other condition? The year can be evenly divided by 100. It is not a leap year. Okay, so let's write another condition. If year evenly divided by 100, means modulo 100 should be equal to 0. If it is modulo 100 equal to 0, then it is not leap year. Okay, then I should use a negate condition, right? If not equal to 0 means it is a leap year, or because it has another condition, unless, so that we can put or. The year is also evenly divisible by 400. Then you need to add another condition, year modulo 100 equal to 0, because they are telling it should be evenly divisible by 100, means modulo 400 should be equal to 0. So I have to write 400. If this condition, all these conditions are passed, means this must be passed and either of this should be true, then my leap year is, my given year is leap year. So what we have to return? We need to return just true or false. So if my conditions are satisfied, I'll return true, else return false. Okay, so let's run this here. So this particular stub of code that is already been added, so they are taking integer. If it is not added, you may have to write the code. Okay, so input, which will return a string type, you need to typecast as integer and just pass this here to the isLeap. That is what is written here. Well, let's run it. Okay, so 1990 we have passed. Our output is false and expected output by HackerRank is also false. Let's submit the code and see if all test cases have been passed or not. Okay, all are passing. We are good to go. Assume that while writing the code, by mistake you wrote end condition. So see what will happen. Your code is perfectly fine, but some test case will be failed. See here. Test 1, 3, 4 are passed, but test 0, 2, 5 are failed. Why? Because there could be some error which is not being, passing by all the condition. Okay, which could be like some of these years. Okay, and in that you are passing all the condition, but not satisfying this condition because instead of or you have added and. Okay, so let's add or and submit the code. Okay, so questions will be really tricky. You may have to play around with, what kind of input you are getting, what kind of test cases are there. Anyway, test cases you will not be able to see, but by doing a lot of practice, you will get to know like what kind of input they might be passing. Okay, so one good thing to know is we have something called test against custom input. Let's say instead of before submitting code, right, you write to test your given code with some, custom given input. So let's say my given input is 4,000. Check whether this is a leap year or not. Okay, so 4,000 equal to true, which is correct. 4,004. It should satisfy all the condition whatever I have written. Okay, it is giving true. Now 4,009, 34 or 444, let's say. Yeah, so we are getting true. So it looks like our code is passing and it is fine. So once you are done with your test against different input also, then you are finally ready to submit the code and check all the test cases have been shown as green. Then only you will be able to gain the 100% mark. Okay, so that's all, guys. I think these two questions I wanted to show. I'll come with more videos with different or complexity of questions, and I'll show how to understand the question and how to write a code and how to pass all the test cases. That is very important thing. Okay, so I hope you liked it. At least you got some idea how to write the test cases and how to write your functions with considering all kind of input what HackerRank might be running in the form of different test cases, so that you can clear all the test case. Okay guys, that's all from my side. Leave out the comment if you have not understood anything, and if you would like to see some particular question which is asked in HackerRank, please pass in, and definitely I'll make a video on that. Thank you so much guys. Bye bye.